Hello, everyone. So glad you're here. On behalf of Prevue, welcome to today's conversation, What Planners Need, Real Talk on Partnership and Value with MGM Resorts. I'm Lisa Simonson, Prevue Editor, and I'll be guiding our discussion today. A couple of quick notes. Today's session is being recorded, so we'll send a replay afterward. Your audio is muted, but the Q&A panel and chat are both live, so use them throughout. And one more thing to keep you on your toes, we're making this a little fun. 3 times today, we'll drop a quick trivia poll, and each one is your shot at a $50 gift card. A mix of dining and shopping cards from Home Depot, Bloomin' Brands, and the Cheesecake Factory. The questions come straight from what our panelists share, so stay sharp, keep the poll window handy, and play along. So here's what we're covering for you today. The power of face-to-face, how MGM makes large, complex programs feel seamless, the story behind Las Vegas, what's new through capital reinvestment, and how MGM builds meaning and well-being into meetings. We'll have 3 trivia breaks along the way and time for your questions at the end. So let me introduce the people who will make this partnership real. Stephanie Glanzer is Senior Vice President and Chief Sales Officer at MGM Resorts. Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. Happy to be here.
Ernest Stovall is Senior Vice President of Hotel Group Sales. Ernest, great to have you.
Thank you, Lisa. Good morning, everybody from Las Vegas.
Thank you. And Shelley Cruz is Vice President of Global Sales. Shelley, so glad to have you here.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Great. So let's get into it. Stephanie, let's start big picture. In a world with endless ways to connect virtually, the demand for in-person is holding strong. Set the stage for us. What is the data telling us about the value of face-to-face right now?
Thanks, Lisa. It's a topic and a question that I'm extremely passionate about. And I think as an organization to maintain the thought leadership in the importance of face-to-face. There is a lot of research and data out just how valuable it is, whether it's the Event Industry Council, Oxford Economics data that shows in 2025 how many participants were brought together, the value of that direct spend, the global GDP economic impact that it brings of over $1.82 trillion, and more importantly, that it offers 24 million jobs in an industry that we all get to be a part of. I am also, as a company, involved in U.S. travel, and there is right now an ongoing campaign called Meetings Meets the Moment, where it's very important that organizations and people and companies know why people come together, where business actually happens to move things forward. So whether it's sales, training, culture, whatever it may be, when people are together, collaborating and communicating, that is really, really important. And I think the message is we want to make sure that we're at the table to enforce why people and organizations have events.
That sounds great. And just a quick follow-up. You mentioned relationships. MGM sees more than 70% of its group business come back as repeat business. What builds that kind of loyalty?
It's something we're very proud of. I think I'm going to go back to the word relationships. We have the capability of having a large organization and opportunities where many employees stay within the company and move from one resort to another. And what that does, you also have the creation of relationships with many of our event planners. We actually just had a group in last week, a large group that just did their 25th year with us as an organization.
Oh,
and the reason for that is not only just because of the relationship and the ease of doing business, but also the opportunity that we can recreate experiences every year that are different from the previous year, which I know we're going to talk about. But I think it goes back to the relationship building, the ease of doing business, the accessibility of listening to feedback and making changes, as well as the scale of what we have to offer.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, Ernest, let's talk scale and logistics, because that's where a lot of planner stress lives and grows from. How does MGM take something big and complex and make it feel seamless?
Lisa, hey, first of all, thank you for that question. I think there's so many different directions we could go with that question. I guess I have to first recognize that our size and scale. Not everyone knows this about MGM Resorts, but we actually consist of 13 resorts on the Las Vegas Strip. And I'm going to repeat that, 13 resorts, because even before, well, as we were preparing for this call, there were some questions about how many resorts that MGM Resorts represents here on this. We employ over 55,000 team members here in the state of Nevada, and that's something we're the largest provider from an economic perspective. We manage hundreds of venues. We operate millions of square feet of flexible space and unique venues here. And when you put that all together, Lisa, it's a one-stop or a one-shop experience that we're looking for. Stephanie mentioned about a large group, the group that had been here for 25 years. You have to really take into the logistics and the masterful logistics that we're able to do behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is we consistently leverage our scale and our synchronized operations behind the scenes, where we turn complex multi-venue moments into seamless, effortless guest experiences there. A lot of people don't recognize our covered walkways that we have. You look at our north portfolio between Aria, Bellagio, Cosmopolitan. The trams take you from Park MGM all the way to Bellagio. The trams that take you from Mandalay Bay to Excalibur. And it's something that we're very proud of. And when you talk about the logistics there, we're really approaching this thought process and this sales process of a single point of control. And what I mean by that is we're working on eliminating the planner stress by providing a single corporate contact who orchestrates your entire program. And this ensures executions across all the departments. And I'll finish with this on the question right there, Lisa, is I think it's something, it's a statement that we don't use often, and it's the power of MGM Resorts. We don't stress this enough to the industry. A traditional integrated resort prides themselves on offering meetings and dining and entertainments all under one roof here. But at MGM Resorts, we operate that exact same philosophy, except we do it all under one company. And that unparalleled seamless experience is something that we're looking to take from a global position there.
Oh, that sounds great. Thank you so much. I mean, we all like to get our steps in, but those shuttles sound really good among the 13 resorts. So thank you very much. I do have a follow-up for you, Ernest. In 2026, MGM restructured the sales team from the North and South portfolios into North and South. What does that mean for the planners day to day?
I'll start off with this again. There's a lot of gray hair that this camera is hiding right now with this process that we've gone through here. So, Lisa, it's been a great task that we've undertaken for the past 6 months. Trust me when I say I'm going to begin with this, that I couldn't be prouder of our team for undertaking this task and working with us to make sure that all the dots are the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed.
Right.
We took the vision of our COO and we took the vision of Stephanie, our chief sales officer, and rethought our sales experience. It's been a Herculean task that I'm so proud of our teams for coming together and helping to create this new deployment. And what we've done is we've moved our sales organization from a siloed four-wall approach, selling individual properties, to an enterprise-wide cross-functional alignment, selling multiple properties. We had to get our entire sales force retrained, situated in new homes, and familiar and comfortable being able to effectively sell all these new properties. Our focus from our sales team is really about commercial execution within our sales organization. We have a playbook that defines what our demand looks like, what our pricing and value strategy looks like, and most importantly, what our alignment looks like here. And I'm looking forward to, as we continue to go through this process, what our meeting planners are saying about this new process. And hopefully they're seeing the value of having team members that are able to sell multiple properties instead of working with individuals across many properties.
All right, that sounds great. It does sound like more of a seamless transition. Thank you. So now it's time for our first MGM Insider Challenge. Ernest just walked us through MGM's footprint on the Strip, so this should be fresh. How many resorts does MGM Resorts have on the Las Vegas Strip? Your options are on the screen and the poll is open right now. So lock in your answer. We'll draw one winner from everyone who gets it right for a $50 Home Depot gift card. So go right ahead. And get those answers in. Great. So drum roll, please. The answer is 13 resorts on the Strip. And our round one winner of the $50 Home Depot gift card will be announced at the end. So stick around and we'll email your card after the session. That goes for all the winners. Everyone else, you've got 2 more chances coming. Okay, great. So let's go on to the next topic. And this is for Shelley. Shelley, this partnership we've been talking about doesn't end at the Strip. Walk us through MGM's national footprint and how that same partnership mindset shows up across the country.
Sure. I think people are really surprised. They do just think we're the Las Vegas Strip. They're always surprised at 13 in Las Vegas. But then when I tell them, oh, but have you been to any of our properties across the United States? Sometimes I get a head tilt, like, what are you talking about? So we do have 5 that reside mostly on the East Coast, but I'm going to walk you through each one really quick. And we're going to kick it off with the Beau Rivage. So, fun fact about Beau Rivage: Beau Rivage was actually built at the same time as Bellagio in Las Vegas. So, same designer, and we love to call it our baby Bellagio in Mississippi. It resides in Biloxi, right off the Gulf Coast, and it's absolutely incredible. Literally the same materials that you see in this building as you do as in the Bellagio in Las Vegas, the same marbles, the same color schemes. It's absolutely incredible. But my favorite part about Beau Rivage is I took my team down there recently for an annual meeting, and they have this incredible balcony that overlooks the water. We did a seafood boil, which is classic for Beau Rivage. But it was such a wow moment, and to be immersed in the community like that, it was incredible. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one, which is Borgata, which resides in Atlantic City. And we've actually newly renovated the MGM Tower. It gives you kind of a nautical feel, beautiful blues and whites to kind of give you that coastal feeling. But my favorite part about Borgata is the overlook area, which is a unique venue that sits at the very top of Borgata. And it's absolutely incredible views of the ocean and the city. And it just gives you that wow moment feeling when you're standing. You feel like you're standing on top of the world looking at Atlantic City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one, which would be MGM Grand Detroit. What a time to be in Detroit. I mean, we foresaw this years ago when we built in Detroit, but what a revival time right now. And the NFL draft was there in 2024, and the city looks amazing. If you haven't been there, you need to go. They have a Gucci store downtown, which is most important. But no, no, seriously, Detroit is fantastic. And now there's other hotel organizations that are building right around us. So they're now foreseeing the same success that we've been seeing in Detroit ourselves. But my favorite part about MGM Grand Detroit is the Prime Steakhouse. You can get the exact same menu as Prime and Bellagio, same types of chefs. So you've literally, as you're eating that juicy steak, you feel like you're sitting in Las Vegas.
Mm.
And we'll move on to the next one. MGM National Harbor. This is really our crown jewel that sits in right outside of Washington, D.C. on the Potomac River. Absolutely stunning. Fun fact about National Harbor, there's some nights their casino floor does more than all of Las Vegas, which is wild to me. So it is the hot location to be in National Harbor. And my favorite part about this venue is really the 3,000 seat theater that we have there, where you can see Bruno Mars, New Kids on the Block, Jodeci, all the fun favorites that you might not know about this property. It sits very close to Gaylord, so we do share a lot of meetings back and forth with our partners with Marriott. But it's in the prime location right outside the city. And then we have our last one, which is MGM Springfield. This one is kind of a secret. Not a whole lot of people know about MGM Springfield, but it sits right outside of Boston. You're looking at about a 45-minute drive straight out of Boston to here. And it sits right across the street from Mass Mutual Convention Center. So if you don't have enough meeting space there, we tag on with Mass Mutual all the time to do larger events. But their specialty is social occasions. So if you think about your bachelor parties, weddings, they do a ton of social occasions in their meeting space. But it's a great hidden secret of MGM Resorts.
Yeah, I
And that
I
completes
live in
our
Mass
fun one.
myself. I didn't know about it.
See? Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. Now you
thank
know.
you.
You have to know someone to know.
Gotta go. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. So, going from national, Stephanie, let's talk about what's new because reinvestment is what keeps the experience fresh for repeat clients. So, what should planners have on their radar right now?
There is a lot, so I'm gonna condense the list, but I think it's something that as a company matters and is we're very intentional on our annual capital reinvestment for all of the reasons that I talked about earlier. With when you have guests that come year after year, we want to be able to provide fresh new experiences. I think the big ones for us is just coming off of an MGM Grand room remodel. Spent over $300 million renovating the rooms. And as we have made all these enhancements to MGM over the past few years, it really is a very unique property in the amount of change and evolution that has gone on. Next, one of my favorite new restaurants, Carbone Riviera at Bellagio, which is a spectacular setting, a partnership with Major Food Group. So you come to find all of your favorite Carbone menu items mixed in with really the art of seafood while you are dining on the fountains of Bellagio. There really is nothing like it, where you can actually see it in the photo, a one of 18 handmade custom yachts called the Fortuna that sits right outside. So when you sit there and you have this incredible meal and you realize you're in the heart of the Las Vegas Strip as the fountains are going off, it's pretty magical. And then lastly, I always like to talk about Gymkhana because if you are a dining aficionado, Gymkhana, which is a Michelin star rated restaurant out of London, we have brought to Aria, which is really combining unbelievable Indian cuisine in a very unique atmosphere. And I bring Carbone Riviera and Gymkhana up because as we design these venues, we work with our development team to say, what are groups looking for and how can we design spaces that have both private and semi-private groups in the opportunities, whether it's a social event or whether it's a corporate VIP dinner at the end of the day. Both of these venues have those opportunities, which is something that's important to us. And there's many more things coming. We just recently announced the corner store coming to Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, which is a very celebrity hotspot in New York with unbelievable food. So we're excited for that to be opening in the coming months at Cosmopolitan.
Wow, a lot to look forward to. Thank you. So now it's time for round two of the MGM Insider Challenge. And this round, it's a $50 gift card from Bloomin' Brands, good at Outback, Carrabba's, Bonefish Grill, or Fleming's. We just talked about new dining, so here we go. Which iconic New York restaurant brand just debuted a seafood concept at Bellagio? Options are on screen. The poll's open now. Drop your answer in the poll. It's the only way to enter and possibly win. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. The answer is Carbone Riviera at Bellagio. The winner of the gift card will be announced at the end, so stick around for the end of the webinar and see who takes the $50 Bloomin' Brands card. I finally said it right. One round left to go. Okay. Ernest, let's turn to you. Meaningful meetings matter more than ever to planners and their attendees. So, Ernest, how is MGM building responsibility and community into the planner value equation?
Thanks, Lisa. I'll start off with this, this statement. I think we focus on what matters. And I think anybody that's paying attention to nation news right now, the heat wave that's hitting the South, if you're a news junkie like myself, you can understand there's big, huge discussions around the water allotment here off the Colorado River and the impact on the southern states. And what that means for MGM Resorts is that we need to focus on what matters. And if you go to the next slide, I think it kind of will go into some of the details that what we're doing as a company and what it means for the meeting planner to know that a company is being proactive, recognizing where their location's at, and being able to apply some of these measures so you don't have to worry about it. From MGM Resorts perspective, we have a solar array that we just built this north of Las Vegas that provides power up to 100% of our daytime electricity needs for Las Vegas, for entire strip properties there. And then it's also helping us to be able to meet our commitment to sourcing 100% renewable electricity domestically by 2030. And those are ambitious endeavors that we have here, but it's something that we recognize our location and what it means to our community and our environment, that we're very proactive in trying and doing this and to adhering to this. We save billions of gallons of water due to our conservation efforts. And then from Lisa, from 2007 all the way on to what we're doing right now with the major trade shows that we come in here, we've been able to divert over 100,000 tons of material bound for landfills, and it's something we take a lot of pride in. And when you think about that, that's our environmental scale and what we want to really focus on. But then what's our community impact and what we want to be able to give back here. We've donated since 2016 over 6 million meals to the community through our Feeding Forward program by rescuing prepared meals from buffets and banquets to food insecure people. It's something that we led the way in 2016. We promoted. We've seen a lot of people that have tried to replicate this, but it's something that we built, we feel is our foundation here in Las Vegas.
That's incredible. The amount of meals is just staggering. And are your suppliers on board? I mean, how did this come to be? How exactly do you send these meals out to the community?
Well, you have to recognize we have to partner with the local association here with Three Square here in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have to work with the city legislatures, as the city and the county legislatures, to making sure that the Southern Nevada Health District is aligned with this, making sure that we're securing the food at the right temperature, making sure food has not been open. So all the expectations that you would expect from a company like ours are check the box to make sure that the food that we're delivering to people that are in this food insecure position are being protected on what we're being able to provide with them.
Oh, that sounds great. Thank you for pointing that out. And so now we're going to move on a little bit. Shelley, wellness has moved from a nice to have to part of the agenda. So what does that look like at MGM?
I completely agree with what you just said, because it's not, we feel like it's not a trend anymore. It's an expectation, that we already have it weaved into every single detail from the time they arrive to our hotels till the time they leave. And I think really staying hydrated is number one in Las Vegas, right? But no, in all seriousness, we offer so many different things, from menus, from what you're eating, what you're drinking, as far as water, what types of water, things like that, all the way to the movement as you're moving through our facilities. But how do we stay, what do I say, fit and energized before a meeting? I think the days are over of where we're not thinking about this. And I think every meeting planner every single industry event that I go to, it's always included somehow in some way. And so how do we be different at MGM Resorts? And I think it comes down to really, we have your one point of contact that can walk you through all the different menu options that we offer, but how can we incorporate it too in those hidden areas where maybe an attendee is not realizing that they are making the healthy choice, if that's what's on the buffet, and just make it part of your life. But some of the unique options we offer that I think is totally different than everybody else is really the yoga on the beach. I recently just did yoga in the Bellagio Conservatory for the first time ever. What an incredible experience, smelling the flowers, having the sunlight hit you through the glass. You literally feel like you're transported somewhere else. And no one else can offer that in the world, the Bellagio Conservatory yoga class. And then we also do this at MGM Resorts for our employees too, which ties into what Ernest just talked about with focused on what matters. I just did Tai Chi and tea with 40 different employees last week, and this goes for line employees all the way up to leadership. Can sign up for any of these events because we really truly value our team's mental health. We really feel like happy employees will exude that energy when they're servicing our guests as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask a follow-up on that because what you just said. Do you think wellness during the meeting and during some downtime improves engagement and productivity? Not
Absolutely.
only
Yes,
with the attendees,
absolutely.
but your employees.
Absolutely. And we actually look at the science behind that every time we build new spaces too. You'll see that at our innovation, our ideation lab over at Park MGM. We really thought about the lighting in the room. The lighting literally changes in the room as you're sitting there longer during the day. It changes from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to keep the energy and keep you alert during some of those really long meetings, which we
Yeah.
know has been a change in the industry as well. We're no longer seeing the 2 hour keynotes anymore. And so we have to be ready for that. So, what are they going to do in between those keynotes? Are they going to grab an energy bar? Are we going to have a walk? Maybe it's an art walk around the property. So, we have to be ready for options and ideas for planners at all times.
That sounds great. And what you said just kind of answered my other follow-up question about how planners can build wellness into the agenda without making it feel expected or forced, like what you just said, an art walk. That's very interesting.
Yeah, our experts are here with literally thousands of different ideas. And
Hmm.
when Ernest was talking about the different connection points between our properties earlier, they don't
Yeah.
have to just stay at the one property, which we know some of these properties are the size of small towns. We get it. So you're going to get your walking in. But sometimes it's nice to just change the scenery for a second because we know going from Aria to Bellagio, it's a completely different world when you walk into each building. And
Hmm.
so just sometimes just changing the scenery for you helps stay energized for that next meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ellie. So now we have round three of our MGM Insider Challenge. And this time we're playing for a $50 Cheesecake Factory gift card. We just talked about giving back, so this one's close to the heart. How many meals has MGM's Feeding Forward program donated since 2016? The poll is open now. Go ahead and, if you remember, great, or take your best guess. Great. So did everyone get, or most get 6 million? That's right, 6 million. That's the Feeding Forward program. All right, so now it's time to find out who our winners are for the MGM Insider Challenge. Are those names available? We want to go ahead and acknowledge them. And make sure you're sending us your questions, especially if you have questions on what we were last talking about wellness. So, our winner for the Home Depot $50 gift card is Joseph Dixon. Yay! Our winner for the Bloomin' Brands $50 gift card is Jessica Turner. And our winner for the Cheesecake Factory $50 gift card is Kathleen Fitzpatrick. So congratulations to all the winners. Enjoy your meals. And congratulations again. The gift card will be mailed to the email that you used to register for this Zoom webinar. So now, before we go to your questions, we want to get a thought from each of our experts. In a sentence, what's the one thing you want planners to take away about partnering with MGM? So, Stephanie, you want to start that one?
One sentence is very difficult for me on
Yeah,
that question,
of
Lisa.
course.
But I am going to focus around the words value proposition of Las Vegas and MGM Resorts. There is not a destination that can provide the value from the time you arrive at the airport to the time you get to the hotel after a short distance with all of the options that you have within these buildings. And when you compare five-star accommodations to what we get to overflow rooms at value rates compared to other destinations, there is a huge, my one ask is to ensure that you're taking everything into consideration when evaluating what value means. And I think lastly, as many times as you come to Las Vegas, the point of today is use the expertise of your event planners to design programs that will give you ROI and your attendees ROI. We want to make a group successful. We want attendees to come back time after time again. So use that expertise.
Great. Okay, thank you. Shelley, how about you? Do you have an answer?
I was just gonna, I mean, Steph, she stole most of it. But it's okay. I've learned from the best. I would actually just tie into, I know how important AI is in our meeting planning industry. But Stephanie had mentioned, tap on us, the experts, because we have a lot of the experiences up here. AI doesn't know about the yoga that was in the Bellagio Conservatory that was a secret event. So definitely ask us if you're not sure, like, hey, how can I add more health and wellness? Sometimes AI doesn't have the answer. So ask us for what different experiences we might have just done recently for other groups that we can help with.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Ernest, how about you?
I'll finish it off. I think expand on both because Stephanie nailed it with their value proposition. I think, but she talked about the value proposition of our destination and then tying it into MGM Resorts, and then Shelley bringing up the qualifications and the expertise that comes from the over 55,000 team members that we get to work with on a day-to-day basis. But I stated it earlier, and I'm going to go back and hammer it as well. It's you're working with all under one company. And it's unparalleled, it's seamless, and it's access to a global portfolio that we're very happy of. Our message is always going to be to our customers is we want to be faster, we want to have a consistent message, and we want to have a unified approach to all our meeting planners and what we're working with to make sure that we're meeting their expectations.
Okay, great. Thank you. We have a fair amount of audience questions, so I'm going to go ahead and start those. This is from Bonnie. Are you ever going to enclose a passage to Aria from Vidara? The temperature was so brutal and no shade. So glad to see Cosmopolitan is now connected.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my first answer is to reiterate, we did enclose the connector from Bellagio, Cosmopolitan, and Vidara. We did that about a year and a half ago. So glass enclosed, beautiful, air conditioned. The question about Aria is something that is for sure not out of the question. I think, the comment back would be when you think about in comparison to other destinations, we're always trying to think about how can we connect them. Not out of the question, but it hasn't happened yet. And there's some design elements that would have to be considered.
Okay, great. Thank you. And here's a question from Ava. You've highlighted partnership value and the one-stop shop approach. How does MGM work with planners to personalize that experience while still delivering the efficiency and scale of a large resort? Anybody want to take that one?
I think I can step in with that. When you look at customizing the resort, I think it starts off with transparency. It's transparency on what success looks like to the planner. And to Ava's point, once we get an understanding of that, I think then we're able to really customize that experience, customize on to what Shelley alluded to, the expertise of our team members in providing those unique experiences there. Because our goal is always going to be, we want to exceed expectations. We recognize that it's all about the experience. Our why is the experience there. And so if we're to have that collaborative communication initially, that sets us up for open discussions on what success looks like. I think we're able to really take that message and be able to apply it to our overall buildings, and not and sometimes leave the four walls of one of our properties and expand out to a different property, a different activation that not only that a lot of our team members will only be aware of.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Lisa, I'm going to add one thing to that because
Yeah,
Ernest
sure.
nailed it. And I think the part that people don't realize is the way that our spaces are designed. And I'll use Mandalay Bay as an example, where you've got massive exhibition and trade show space in one area. And then you have areas of small little hallways and foyers with these small meeting rooms, which many groups don't even realize there's large scale programs happening at the same time. So it's again about the layout, the design of how we place these spaces to make small groups feel just as intimate.
Okay, that sounds great. I guess they wouldn't realize that that's available. Thank you. So Bonnie would like to know, how would you describe differences from Gaylord's massive properties directed at conventions? In other words, how do you differ from that?
Maybe Shelley
I
and I
think
can
Ernest
partner
should
on
do
this one.
that because you worked at Gaylord.
Okay, Bonnie, in all fairness, Bonnie, I might have opened up the Gaylord Texan in 2004. I might have been employee number 29. So I do have an understanding of the cheat code that's part of MGM Resorts. And I say, look, first of all, we're all in this industry. We want to see success happen to all of our destinations. Gaylord's done an amazing job of tying in that integrated resort experience of the flexible meeting space or entertainment. I think when you power of Las Vegas, so that experience has expanded. And there's a lot of organizations and corporations, associations, trade shows that come to Las Vegas that know that once you put Las Vegas on your website that you're going to be here for a future destination, you're going to get you're going to get that 10% bump of Las Vegas. And that means a lot. It means a lot from from a financial perspective to back to the organization, to be able to registration, to be able to accommodate that. But what I always go back to is the experiences that when you leave one of our properties and step outside, you're just minutes away from being into a different destination experience that's going to be completely unique and completely different from the experience that you just left. And it's something that no other city in the world can accommodate that within this 5 mile radius. And so it's so unique, and it's something that we're proud of here as well. And Shelley, Steph, y'all want to expand on that?
The only thing I have to add, and we probably should have, is, we have a unique and special partnership with Marriott International, and which we are Bonvoy Reward. So when our attendees come and they book on their own through the group block and or event planner, we are a part of Bonvoy. So I think that's also important to message that based on destination preference of where you are, as well as the partnership with Marriott. So we work very closely.
Absolutely.
Anything else, Shell?
Well, there's more questions, so hang on. Actually,
Okay.
there's another Stephanie here. How do you help a planner determine which property or combination of properties best fit their particular group, especially because how do you as a group, you work with each other to do that?
I can take that one. Yeah,
Okay.
because our global sales team, we interact with that similar question at literally every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to understand, one, educating the customer on all of our properties,
Mm-hmm.
but really seeking to understand first and asking several questions before we start walking through the entire portfolio with them to make sure we understand what their budget is, what their expectations are for experiences. And I really, to Stephanie's point earlier, we really feel like we have something for everyone, whether it's Las Vegas or our regional properties. And sometimes they get excited when they hear about things outside of Vegas, but it still kind of gives them that taste and flavor of the energy of Las Vegas, just in a different world. So we do that quite a bit, but I think it comes down to asking the right questions of everyone first, and then kind of laying out what we think the proposal should look like.
And
Okay,
Shelley,
great.
I think And Shelley, great answer. And Lisa, if you don't mind, just
Yeah.
because I think this was a perfect question on all the hard work we've done here through in 2026 with the restructure of our sales organization in the North and South. And when you think about that scenario, it starts off with our global sales team and then comes down to the portfolio. But if you have a meeting planner that's coming in there and saying, I only want to look at Aria and Bellagio, and we have one of our team members that's managing our North portfolio that consists of Aria, Bellagio, the Cosmopolitan,
Mhm.
Park MGM, they can ask when they recognize, oh, there's some budget questions that might not make sense at a Bellagio or doesn't make sense at Aria. Have you thought about the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas? What does that mean to you? What would that activation like for you as well? So then they're able to listen to that. And instead of that siloed approach that we talked about initially, they have that integrated enterprise mindset that we're selling all of MGM Resorts, and we're recognizing that there's a price point that we have to meet with the customer. And how are we able to relay that message to this customer where they feel that they're getting the most value, or something that they might not have thought of?
Okay, great. Thank you. And we have another question. This one is about wellness, sustainability, and social impact. I don't see a name, but what are some of the creative ways you're seeing planners incorporate wellness, sustainability, or social impact into their MGM programs, especially with sustainability and social impact kind of meshing together now?
I'll start this and then turn it over to Shell or either. I think Shelley talked about some of the things as a perception of the city that we do just as normal business and doing a good job of ensuring that meeting planners and attendees feel good about where they are and what they're a part of, whether it is the food give back program. Ensure that we're marketing and communicating that to attendees, so when they see a breakfast buffet, they know that it's going to good use after. On social impact, we work very closely with the community and a number of organizations that a lot of our groups actually will do a team building activity as a part of their program. So going back to the design and ROI, you get out of a meeting or you're having a training or a team building, go do something good together that is also giving back to the community. And again, as an organization, we have that capability to connect the two to make that happen. And
Mhm.
then again, I'm going to go back to the sustainability part. I think that there are many things. Yes, we all know that sometimes things cost more. Again, depending where you grocery shop, costs more if you're organic or not organic. And I think that goes back to the transparent questions of what's important to you as a company, what's important to your attendees, and what are you willing and wanting to do that we can make happen. Just communicating that, because I promise you, we can make those things happen.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Anybody else on that one? We have a couple more questions, actually. This is from somebody, Taylor, who's new to the MGM experience. How far ahead should a planner contact you? And what's the best way, if you're looking at MGM for the first time, to start a conversation with your sales team?
Well, you can talk to global sales at any time. I'm ready if you want to talk after this call. Um, but it's never too soon. And I know many people think of Las Vegas and you think of the giant size conventions, which we all know book farther out. But we have a small meeting team that specializes in groups of 10 people or more. And we are booking those groups at any time. So we can talk about which properties are the best fit based on your booking window, your budget, and we can ask several questions to make sure we get you into the right spot. But I always recommend talking to global sales, which I can give you your contact for your region, so that way they can really walk you through the entire portfolio and let you know what would be the best sweet spot for sending a proposal.
And I'm assuming, Lisa, that we'll drop in again, the MGM Resorts website under meetings and events has very clear contact information that connects you with Shelley and her team.
Okay, great. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, there's another question about that. How early should planners involve MGM when they're considering a complex or multi-property program?
I
I'll,
can just
yeah,
jump.
go ahead, Ernest.
I can
Mhm.
jump into it, and I know Steph will probably have some insight as well. But I think it starts in the contracting phase,
Mhm.
even before that, it starts off with as much information that the planner is able to give us during the contracting phase for a proposal, so we can customize our proposal to the needs of what's important to that planner. And then once we're able to do that, we're able to customize a contract that's going to adhere to what the expectations are for this meeting planner. And I say that this meeting, what success looks like, because that contract a lot of the times what success looks like in a black and white area. And then what we're always going to be able to do is during the pre-planning phase be able to expand on it, because we recognize we're in a hospitality industry. We want to exceed expectations. We want to service with a smile. We want to deliver experiences. They're going to go beyond what the contract states. But when you start it off that early, and that communication, that collaboration continues all the way through from the GSO, meeting our GSOs, talking about the importance of what they want in a contract, to the pre-plannings, to the delivery of that event. It's all about the collaboration from both entities working together for what that purpose and what success looks like.
Okay, great.
And I would just add, Lisa, I think on the timing question, a lot of groups realize that they have to be flexible with their dates, because there are so many groups that book far out. And when we talk about timing, I'm saying 18 to 36 months for when I think the word large timing of large group complexity is there may have to be flexibility in date preferences. So for large groups, our answer is look as far out as you possibly can, because sometimes there is a surprise that we are as big as we are, but we don't have the availability of exactly what a group needs or wants within a couple of years. So for large groups, I would say the trend has become the booking window has grown farther and farther. So get on that as quickly as possible.
Okay, great. So I think we have time for one more question. Maybe all three of you might have a response to this. It's from James. What are you hearing most often from planners are their biggest challenges? And how does MGM step in to resolve those challenges?
I'll start out
Okay.
with a challenge in how we can help. And it came up a couple times. Is many times a planner comes to us and says, I want to host a meeting. Here's what we've done in the past. And it's a general session and 4 breakouts with a mini trade show and a one night function. And my answer to you is, before you tell anything, what is the purpose of what your event is? What are you looking to get out of it? And what is truly is success look like to you, and how can we help revise that? So allow some customization in the mindset of really what attendees are looking for today. Time away from home means now more than ever, right? People want to be gone for a reason. So the design of how a program happens is really impactful, and use your property and resort contacts to let that happen.
Okay, great. Anybody else have a challenge they want to help resolve?
No, I can bring it up. I think it's something that the elephant in the room, and I can address it from a high level. And just there's the perception of Las Vegas is we've been hit a lot with we're charging too much for a cup of Starbucks or for a cup of coffee, what our pricing looks like there. And this is something that we take extreme value, and we recognize the feedback. Every year that when we do our pricing evaluations, we do a comparison not only as a destination, but across the entire United States. And we always feel that we are fairly priced, and if not fairly priced, priced and value driven in what we're offering to our customers. And so I get the feedback that goes back to, as customers are coming back to us and talking about pricing, we encourage them, give us the data, so then we're able to go back and work internally if we recognize that there's a pricing that's off within some of our menu pricing, et cetera. But I think the number one feedback that I'll give to you is, we're going to take your feedback, we're going to recognize it, we're going to do our investigation into it, and then come back to you with answers or suggestions. And it goes back to the power of MGM Resorts. It's all under one company, because with 13 properties here, we have that power to be able to do that.
Well, that sounds great. And thank you for touching on budgeting a little bit. So I want to thank our panelists today. If you look in the chat, you'll see everybody's LinkedIn address, so please get in touch with any questions. We also have the MGM planning website or meeting planner website up. So please consider all these fantastic properties as you're going forward with your planning ideas. They certainly have so many ideas, and I hope everybody can take advantage of that. And we'll send the recordings and resources to your inbox. And congratulations again on today's winners. Oh, we're getting a lot of very informative thank you all. This was wonderful. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us, and to our panelists. And we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, everybody.